Hi, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Eboni Harris and I'm a relationship therapist. I'm also host of Room for Relations, a sex and relationship podcast. This week, I'll be talking about 5 myths that we have about fighting. Every week, I'll give you tips about sex, relationships, dating, and just having a healthy life overall. And this week, I'm starting with the 5 myths about fighting. So stay tuned. The number one myth is that not fighting is a good thing. For some reason, we have been taught that couples that don't fight or couples that never argue are healthy couples, and that is just not the case. Whenever I have a couple come to me and say, we have never fought, we haven't fought in the 2 years we've been together, immediately I'm thinking, that's not a good thing. Either somebody's needs aren't being met, or somebody is not as invested in the relationship maybe. It's very rare to meet two people that have completely different lifestyles, have been raised completely different, have completely different thoughts on everything going on in the world. It's very rare to have those two people agree on every single thing. That just doesn't happen. So the first myth is that if you don't fight, it's a good thing. That is not the case. Fighting does not mean yelling, screaming, cursing. Fighting means we have a disagreement. We may get heated, but we have a disagreement and we just are trying to come to a conclusion or express our feelings on that disagreement. So that's the first myth. Number 2, the second myth is that you have to talk about it until it's fixed. That sounds horrible to me. Some topics just aren't going to get fixed in that conversation. Sometimes you have to take a break. Sometimes we are exhausted and we just can't talk anymore. And sometimes there is no conclusion to be made. So we shouldn't have to talk for 4 hours straight about one topic. If we've been talking for 15 minutes straight about a topic, I might say, hey, no, I need time. I need a break. So, that is just not truth. You do not have to continue the conversation until there's a resolution. Think about it as like a road trip. You're not going to drive 12 hours straight. You're going to take the breaks. You're going to stop and get gas. You're going to recharge. You're going to stretch. There's no need to have a marathon fight. If we're not getting anywhere, let's take a break. Let's try it again later, which brings me to the next point. The third myth is something that we've heard all of our lives. We hear it at bridal showers, we hear it at weddings, we hear it at engagement parties, we hear it when you get your first relationship. Don't go to bed angry. It's not true. Go to bed angry sometimes. You don't want to make that a habit. You don't want every night before we go to bed, you have this thing that's stressing you out, because it may affect your sleep. But there's nothing wrong with taking a break and going to bed, especially if it's late. When it gets late, we're not going to be able to communicate as well as we'd like to anyway. So going to bed angry, there's nothing wrong with it. And actually, going to bed angry could help you, because you could end up, waking up with some clarity. We rarely wake up just angry. That just doesn't happen. We wake up, we kind of figure out what's going on with my day. What do I have to do today? Oh, we had a fight yesterday, So it's rare that we wake up just still angry about whatever happened the day before. We usually have to kind of process the day and then think about, oh, that did happen. But it is a good way to take a break and kind of clear your body and recharge, and then maybe you'll have some clarity on the situation. Secondly, there's a lot of professionals that believe that going to bed, our dreams kind of manifest whatever unconscious conflicts we have going on or unfinished business. So maybe your dreams can help you kind of deal with whatever's happening and bring you to some type of light or clarity that you didn't have before. So going to bed angry is okay sometimes. If you're going to bed angry every night, you may need to kind of work some other stuff out, but it's okay. Number 4, don't ever argue in front of your kids. Ever. No. It's okay to argue in front of your kids. It's important, actually. You are the first example of conflict resolution that your kids will see. Your kids need to be able to know how to resolve issues when they have with other people. So when they're little and maybe they're only child, or maybe they have siblings, but when they're younger, they get to watch you, especially if they're only child, they have to watch you and your significant other or whoever you have around. And they learn everything from you. So that includes they learn how to resolve conflict. If they never see you resolve conflict, that means they could very well end up going to school, having a problem with someone, and reacting completely negative, or not reacting at all, or avoiding it. They may pick up some bad habits when it comes to conflict resolution. So you want to make sure that you're teaching them good habits and that you are being a good example of what healthy conflict resolution looks like. Or at least that we know just because we have a problem doesn't mean that the next day we can't love each other. Or just because we have a fight doesn't mean that the relationship is over. Those are things that need to be learned. Those are things that kids, are looking around trying to figure out, or don't even realize they're trying to figure it out until it happens, and then they look back or reach back into that memory of like, oh, this is how my parents did it. Or, okay, just because my friend made me mad yesterday doesn't mean we can't be friends ever again, because my parents kissed each other the next day after they had a fight. So it's okay to that your kids know that you're fighting. And I feel like that goes back to number one, where a lot of time kids that are raised in households where they never saw fights think that conflict aren't supposed to happen in relationships. And we all know that no matter if you're in a long relationship, there have been some fights. Number 5 is everything said in an argument should be forgiven. If I say something mean, I was mad. So, we should let that go and we should move on. While that is true, after you've resolved the argument, the goal is to kind of not harp on those same things. The goal is to kind of move past that. That is not always the case. You cannot control for other people. And so when you say things that are mean, that are condescending, that are belittling and rude and disrespectful, you can't use the whole, well, I was upset, that's why I said it, and you should let that go. That isn't going to work every time. You have to be able to control what you say to people in an argument. It might work sometimes, and sometimes people are like, okay, like I knew she was mad. But here's what happens. Let's say we're in an argument and I say, oh, you're so stupid. You're so dumb. And then afterwards, I apologize. I didn't mean that. I was upset. I just want to get your attention, blah, 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 blah. However you resolve that after you've kind of gotten over that argument. So then 2 weeks later, you see your spouse doing something incorrectly. And so you go and you say, hey, this goes like this. This may not always happen, but sometimes your spouse is going to go back to that argument and say, okay, she thinks I'm dumb. She thinks I'm stupid. She thinks I can't handle this because that's just the way she thinks about me. Even though that's not what you were saying, even though you may have been trying to help out of love, when you say things like that, they don't just go away. Everybody's heard the term forgive and forget. Forgive, never forget. Everybody has heard people say, you should forgive, but don't ever forget. And so that means even though you're apologizing and maybe they let it go in that moment, sometimes we have these triggers in the back of our head. We've heard you say certain things. We've heard you talk to us in a certain manner. Sometimes it's from you. Sometimes it's from people in our past. But the point is, you have to be careful. And you have to be aware of what you're saying in those moments because you can't take it back. So those are the 5 myths that we have about fighting. Number 1. We never argue. It's a good thing. We have a healthy relationship. Number 2, marathon fights are okay. Let's get this out the way. Let's fight until we are done. Number 3, don't ever go to bed angry. Ever. Number 4, don't argue in front of the kids. They shouldn't see us ever fighting. And number 5, whatever I said in an argument, I'm sorry. It should be forgiven, and we should never talk about it again. You should forgive anything I say in an argument. So those are the 5 myths. They're not true. Thank you for watching. My name is Eboni Harris, relationship therapist and host of Room for Relations, Sex and Relationship Podcast. I'll be posting videos every Wednesday, so please subscribe, rate, comment. Let me know if there are any other myths that you've heard, any other things that people have told you all your life, and now that you're dating, you're like, that's just not true. Leave them in the comments below, and I will love to respond and possibly feature some in some future videos. So thank you guys for watching, and I will talk to you next time.